Senator Edwards has been remarkably patient during this exchange, and I want him. I don't know if you want to get involved in this, Senator Edwards.
What I want to say first is, are there 3 people in this debate, not 2? And I also want to know on behalf of voters here in South Carolina, this kind of squabbling, how many children is this going to get health care? How many people are going to get an education from this? How many kids are going to be able to go to college because of this? We have got to understand, you know, and I respect both of my fellow candidates, but we have got to understand this is not about us personally. It is about what we are trying to do for this country and what we believe in. Now, fiscal responsibility, which I think was the question. It's a little hard to tell there at the end of that. But I think the question was about fiscal responsibility. I have proposed, I think, the most aggressive, most progressive agenda of the 3 of us up here. You know, I was the first to come out with a universal health care plan, first to come out with a global warming plan, first, and to the best of my knowledge only at this point, to come out with a comprehensive, detailed plan to end poverty in America, since we are on Dr. King's Day. This is the cause of my life. Everything I have proposed, I have come up with a way to pay for. And I've been very explicit about how it should be paid for. Not abstract, not rhetoric, very, very explicit. But I do have to say, in response to something Senator Clinton said just a minute ago, both Senator Obama and I have said Social Security needs a solution. And we have said we won't privatize, we won't cut benefits, we won't raise the retirement age. It was the same thing that Hillary has said. But she has proposed nothing about how we're going to create revenue to keep Social Security alive, and talked about fiscal responsibility. Here's the problem. If you don't have, this is not complicated, the American people understand it. If you got more money going out than is coming in, you're going to eventually run out of money. And you've got to have a way to pay for it, which is why, now let me finish this, Lord knows you let them go on forever. What I'm saying is, we have to be consistent in what we're saying. I have said I think Hillary doesn't want to talk about raising taxes. Let's just be honest about that. Barack and I have both said that you've got to do something about the cap on Social Security taxes, which is now capped at $97,000, means if somebody's making $80,000 a year, every dime of their income is taxed for Social Security. But if you are making $50 million a year, only the first $97,000 is taxed. That's not right. And people ought to be paying their Social Security taxes. But the American people deserve to know what we're going to do. We can disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. So they can make an informed choice, but they at least deserve to know where we stand and what we do.
We're staying on the economy, but I want Joe Johns to ask another question so we can continue this dialogue.
All right. Well, Senator Edwards, let's dig a little deeper on the economic mess we're in currently. In 2006, a study from the Center for Responsible Lending found that African Americans are something like 30% more likely to be sold a subprime loan than white borrowers with similar credit histories and income. The South Carolina NAACP said last month that the American dream for too many Americans, too many African Americans, is a national nightmare. The national NAACP has even filed a class action lawsuit against 12 nationwide lenders. So the bottom line question really is, do you believe that lenders have specifically targeted African Americans? Is this subprime mess really also an issue of race?
Yes, is the answer. I think they have targeted. If they haven't been racially motivated, I don't know. There's no way for me to know what's inside their head. But what they have done is they have targeted the lowest income, most vulnerable families. And anybody who's paying any attention to what's going on in America today understands if you are African American in this country today, you're likely to have a net worth of about 10% of what white families have. This is not an accident. I mean, we can go put our heads against the wall and pretend that the past never happened, pretend that we didn't live through decades of slavery, followed by decades of segregation, followed by decades of discrimination, which is still going on today. That history And that legacy has consequences. And the consequence has been that African American families are more vulnerable. They're more vulnerable to payday lenders. They're more vulnerable to predatory lenders, which is why we desperately need a national law, which I have proposed, which would crack down on these predatory payday lenders. It's not enough to do it state by state, because these predators just move from place to place to place. I was in a neighborhood in Cleveland a few months ago, 1 block radius, 38 houses under foreclosure. Middle-class African-American neighborhood. These people worked. They put everything they had into their homes, and they were about to lose them because these predators had come into the neighborhood and taken everything they had. So here are the solutions. Number one, we need a national predatory lending law. Number two, we've got to help low-income families save. They have nothing to fall back on. Many have no bank account. They don't deal with financial institutions. We need to teach financial literacy. We need to match what they're able to save so that they actually have something that they can fall back on in case they get in a place where they need more money.
All right, I want to both of the